This is the most disgusting. You know what that is?
Fat.
Yeah, that's how much fat a person eats in like a 4 or 5 day period. We're going to find out about this.
Let me see. Well, it fit. It goes right there. It just goes right there.
Now, when it says fat-free or light, do you know what that stuff means? I mean, really?
Oh, gosh, I've heard of all the controversy. Who knows?
We have a lady who knows everything, you know, with so many foods that are labeled low-fat and light or reduced calories. How do you really know which ones are good for you?
Okay, here to teach us how to read and understand those labels is the director of the Nutrition and Fitness Center for the Good Housekeeping Institute. Please welcome Delia Hamma.
Hi, Delia. Nice to see you.
Thank you for coming in. We need you.
Now, what is this?
This is a pound of fat. Americans go through about this much every 5.5 days.
Can you
65 pounds a year.
I believe it's the way I eat.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
It really is. Now, John Burton, our director, who is one of the brightest men in America, every time we do a segment, he knows something about everything, was talking about the word light. And he said light in oils initially didn't mean lighter or reduced calories. It meant the color was light. Now, did the government finally get in and fix this deal up?
Yes, that has all changed, fortunately. Now you'll see new labeling on packaging, gives lots of information, and you can generally trust it.
So what does it mean when something says light?
Well, if it's light, there's certain definite standards that it has to meet. It has to have a certain amount of fat in compared to another product.
Okay.
If it says reduced fat, then that means something different. If it says low fat, that's different. But they're all defined by the government.
And you know, there's this company that has these cakes that are supposedly fat-free, but they're really not fat-free, are they?
Well, it's not that they are necessarily fat-free. Generally, the rule is if it has less than a half gram of fat per serving, then you can call it fat-free. So if you eat the whole cake, then
Which we tend to do.
Usually do.
That's right.
Especially if it's non-fat.
That's right. Now, let's talk about this. We have different lasagnas here from, these are
Right.
from Stouffer's. Now, let's talk about the nutrition facts on this one.
Just think about if you're going to the grocery store, you're trying to choose lasagna for dinner, but you want to eat something that's sort of healthy. What are you going to choose? The nutrition facts can help you.
This says total fat, 4 grams, 6%, okay? Now, on the vegetable lasagna, it says total 29% of 19 grams. How do I know what I'm doing here and what it all means?
Yeah, exactly. It can be confusing. What you want to look at here is the total number of fat, if you're concerned about fat, okay?
This says 19 grams.
grams.
19 grams.
Okay.
Now, the daily value here, which is simply a reference number that the government sets, is 65 grams. That's based on a 2,000 calorie diet. So if you can have only 65 grams or less per day, then 19 grams is a pretty fair chunk.
So this one
That's
is
about
4.
30% of that whole. That one is 4,
And this
exactly.
one's 13.
And that one's 13. There's big differences here, and these are all frozen lasagnas. So if you want to make a smart choice, looking at these labels can really help you there.
Okay.
Do you eat this, Bonnie? Eat quick
Oh, I
rice?
love oats.
Good source of fiber,
Oatmeal.
low-fat food, sodium-free, and cholesterol-free. It would seem like the ideal food source, wouldn't it?
I'm hoping it is.
Is it?
It is a good food.
Okay.
And the great thing about it is, again, all of these terms are defined. They mean something now. And you can look at this and know that you are getting a food that is low fat if it says low fat. But there's still a couple of tricks that you need to be aware of.
Such as?
Okay. Look at this milk here. It says 2% low-fat milk. Now, I told you, if you remember, that the rule is for low fat, or maybe I didn't, is 3 grams of fat per serving for low fat. But if you look at the labeling on this, how much fat does it have?
5
Says there
grams.
5 grams. Can you see that, Alice? 5 grams of fat
But
there.
it's still called low-fat milk. So that's an exception to the rules. If you really want low-fat milk, you should be drinking 1% or skim milk.
It's now a regulation that all foods have to have this labeling, isn't it? And that just recently came
Almost
about.
all foods. There are some exceptions, like the muffin that you pick up at your local bakery.
Yeah.
They do not have to have labeling information on there. If it just has a sticker on it that says low fat, if it tastes too good, maybe you should be a little careful with that.
What
And
about,
some things with
lifesaver?
small packaging. If the packaging is so small that you can't get the labeling on there, they won't have it. But there has to be a toll-free number or an address so that you can write away for the nutrition information on that.
I think that a lot where we get caught up is, 3 grams of fat per serving. Well, what, you know, and then they say a fourth of the box. I think that gets real confusing, you know, because a serving to me might be bigger than, a serving to you. Like even this, I might say, oh, two of these pieces is a serving for me.
This is a good example of the fat-free. This is a fat-free cake here.
Okay.
But that is the portion size. Now, how many people take out only that much?
No, generally, I would take that out and eat this. You know?
Right. Fat-free doesn't mean calorie-free, so you have to keep that in mind. That's about 180 calories. If you eat this whole thing, you're
so we really do have to look at
that
what the serving size is. How do they decide what a serving size is going to be?
Well, again, they have established standards for that. At last, it used to be that every manufacturer was free to set their own standards, but the government caught on to that, but people were changing it so that they could make it sound like it was low-calorie or low-fat.
Let's do this. Okay, Bonnie, you're going to have some cereal here.
Cereal's a tricky one.
All right, so we're going to look at our servings.
Yeah, do what you would normally put in a bowl.
How much would you normally have cereal?
I don't know. That looks good. That looks okay. Let's see yours.
Let me see. That's probably what I would do, something like that.
Yeah.
We pretty
realistically.
Probably pretty.
Okay.
Okay, dump it in the cup here. Let's see how much we have.
Oh, sorry.
Ooh.
You know,
We
that
won't
was never
count
my
the
forte.
quarter of a cup that's on the table.
Okay. So we ended up with 1 cup.
1 cup.
One
That doesn't look so bad.
That's yours.
Okay, but look.
Let's see what Bonnie did.
What is that? Serving size?
Okay. What is the serving size here?
Serving size, half a cup.
Oh, mine's about a cup and a half.
So take a look at this. It says serving size.
And look at those calories.
Half a cup cereal, 200 calories with skim milk, 240. Okay, so I just ate 400 calories.
No, look at
and 480 with half a cup of skim milk.
This is half a cup. That would be it, huh?
That's it.
That's our serving size.
Now, should we cut fat out of our diet? You know, totally, 100%?
Absolutely not. Fat is an essential nutrient. You have to have it. You can't live without it. We just want to keep it down. Health authorities usually recommend, between 20 and 30% of your calories as fat is a good range to be in. But you do need some fat, so don't try to cut it out.
You eat yogurt, Bonnie?
Yeah, I do eat yogurt. The low-fat sort of stuff.
Now, how about this stuff? This is ice cream that is obviously high calorie, and this is the thing that my son eats this stuff like it's going out of style, and the sodium in these things is
Exactly, and that's why I brought that along. You know, people are sometimes concerned about their sodium as well, and if you look, at the sodium here.
Look at this, 1,550 milligrams. You might as well take a whole box of Morton salt.
That's 65% of the recommended daily value.
Man.
So if you have that, if you're watching your sodium, you better not eat anything with much sodium in it at all.
Is yogurt as good as they say it is for you, or not? Is there, with the fat-free yogurts, are they truly fat-free?
Well, it depends on which ones you're choosing, really. If they are the ones that you buy in the grocery store by big manufacturers, if they say they're fat-free, they generally are fat-free. If you buy them at the little corner stand, then you have to be more careful.
So when I get my little thing of yogurt and it says 0 fat, I can trust that.
Generally.
Okay.
Generally.
Okay.
Check your portion size, remember, because that is for that portion size. It's not for eating the whole thing. This is for serving size.
That's crazy. Well, anyway, you got to read the labels. That's what we learned. Thank you, Delia. Coming up next, exotic Asian vegetables. We have a food sort of theme today, and they could be starring in your next meal, so stay tuned.